The good weather is here, baseball is in full swing, and the Democrats, well, they keep swinging for the fences, but they really can't even clear the batter's box.
Who'd be doing a better job as president? Guess who comes out on top? Within the margin of error, but comes out on top. This looks a lot like the election result, right? Trump 45%, 2 points ahead of Harris at 43%. 12% say they'd be doing about the same. But this is the key nugget here. It's not just about regretting that vote. It's literally saying who would be doing the better job right now. And Trump continues to score a higher percentage of the vote than Kamala Harris. This looks a heck of a lot like the election result. We have just seen this in poll after poll after poll.
Democrats are backing off the Maryland man after the evidence is just absolutely overwhelming. And one might think Trump slow-rolled and trolled them into this. Then, new poll numbers are out, and Rasmussen has been saying for over a week that the polls showing that Donald Trump is underwater, that his unfavorability is way up. It's all a lie. Rasmussen was the only one that for months before the election said Donald Trump was not only going to win, but he was going to win decisively, to ignore the other polls. He was right yet again. And just a reminder, the same people telling us polling-wise that Donald Trump is way underwater and underperforming and people regret their vote, these are the same people that said Kamala was going to win, or it would be close. Yeah. And then finally, Van Jones at CNN gets a wake-up call how black voters actually feel about Donald Trump.
Let's get ready to rumble! You can't handle the truth.
I'm Pastor Marty. Welcome to the Afternoon Drive. Make sure that you're a subscriber to the channel. Once you are, smack the bell, click the word all. That will give you notification of my rants, my ravings, my undeniably flawless reasonings. Please like and share this video. It's the only way that we get the word out that we're here. Grab yourself a cup of coffee and join us now for the Afternoon Drive. For weeks now, the mainstream media has been trying to gaslight us and tell us that Donald Trump's unfavorability is way up. People regret the vote. This has been 100 days of chaos. You've got Democrats trying to introduce articles of impeachment. Yet another famous lawyer in Washington, D.C. is launching a brand new law firm to do nothing but go after Trump. When are these dillweeds, and yes, I said that, going to learn their lesson? But that's okay. Continually watching the self-destruction of the Democratic Party, led by a bunch of yahoos like Harry Hogg and Hakeem Jeffries. It's very entertaining. It really is. And since, all the favorite shows that I like to watch are no longer in existence or production, this gives me something to do. So new polls show us that, well, Donald Trump, the base, they're with him. The people who voted for him, they're with him. That they understood on the campaign trail that when he said he would turn the economy around, but it was going to require work and it was going to require tariffs. And you know what? The people get it. The media doesn't get it. The Democrats don't want to get it. And for all of their bloviating and Donald Trump is chaos and is creating these problems and these messes and Doge, and notice how they don't offer an alternative plan. They don't tell us what they would do. And I'll tell you why. They don't have a plan. Their plan is the status quo. Keep taxing, keep grifting the money for themselves and for libloon causes and, funding all types of DEI, hogwash, and woke nonsense. They haven't figured out that the movie Snow White was the actual funeral service for the entire woke movement, but that might sink in over time. No, they'll keep the grift going. They don't want Doge exposing anything. They would much rather key Teslas and try to drive, Elon Musk out of business than admit that there are real problems and they have to be dealt with, and this imbalance of trade between us and China is not sustainable. Thus, they have no alternative plan but to, of course, keep lamenting how much they hate Donald Trump. But the people get it.
Who would be doing a better job as president? Guess who comes out on top? Within the margin of error, but comes out on top. This looks a lot like the election result, right? Trump 45%, 2 points ahead of Harris at 43%. 12% say they'd be doing about the same. But this is the key nugget here. It's not just about regretting that vote. It's literally saying who would be doing the better job right now. And Trump continues to score a higher percentage of the vote than Kamala Harris. This looks a heck of a lot like the election result. We have just seen this in poll after poll after poll.
What about when he's matched up against congressional Democrats who we know have had some pretty rough numbers?
Yeah, they have had some pretty rough numbers. So Kamala Harris obviously doesn't hold elected office right now, but Democrats in Congress sure do. So who do you trust more on the U.S. main problems, the main problems in the United States? Well, what do we have here? It's the same exact picture, folks. It's the same exact picture. When you match Donald Trump against his actual competition, Donald Trump comes out ahead. Look at this. 40% to congressional Democrats, 32%. Going to make a big circle here. But the bottom line is, when you look at Donald Trump in a vacuum, it's one thing. But when you actually match him up against folks in the real world, all of a sudden his numbers look considerably better. And when you match him up against his main competition at this point, Democrats in Congress, he is more trusted on the main problems facing the United States right now. In fact, it's not even close. It's an 8-point advantage, which in this politics, well, that's a wide ocean.
It's huge and maybe tells the Democrats that their messaging is not working at this point in time.
Oh, and remember how the Trump tariffs were going to tank the economy and it's going to kill jobs and shutting down the border is going to kill jobs. That's not what happened.
All right, breaking moments ago, the April jobs report just released showing steady gains amid some economic uncertainty. I want to bring in CNN's Matt Egan, who joins me now with more. All right, what are we seeing in the numbers? What is the context here?
Yeah, Omar, we were bracing for a slowdown in the jobs market. We did not get that. We got steady hiring. This jobs market is just relentless. Let me run you through the key numbers.
Yeah, let's do it.
177,000 jobs were added in the month of April. That easily beat forecasts for 135,000. So not even close there. The unemployment rate stayed low. It stayed at 4.2%.
436,000 increase in the number of people who are employed. So this is an amazing report. The number of people, the labor force participation rate rose. So this is a really strong number. I wanted to mention one other quick thing. You know, about 2 weeks ago, every headline, Wall Street Journal, New York Times, Washington Post, was, oh, the stock market is crashing. And since then, the market has been up, like 2,800 points.
Yeah,
so,
well, you don't see that
and by the way, I don't see headlines about that.
That was the point. That was the point that Scott Bessent made. Yeah.
CNN's Van Jones was even shocked to find out black voters, they like Donald Trump.
And here we are in South Carolina with 3 Trump voters. You weren't always a Republican.
No. Actually, I come from a family that was like super Democratic. My first time voting, I voted Democrat. I voted for Joe Biden.
What about Trump appealed to you?
Am I allowed to cuss?
Yeah, you can go.
I mean, part of it is he's an asshole. I like authenticity.
You voted for Obama then you voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016. But 2020, you voted for Donald Trump. What made the change?
I began listening to someone, her name is Candace Owens, and I read her book, and it just opened my eyes to maybe he's not this person that I have been led to believe that he was.
So you voted against Trump in 2016.
Yes.
But then in 2020, you voted for him?
Absolutely.
Why?
I saw how things were going during his first term, and I was pleasantly surprised, and I was pleased with what was happening. I saw the economy getting better. I saw country relations in certain countries getting better.
What are some things that he's doing that you do like?
For me, I like the border. I just don't like the idea of someone coming here illegally and getting benefits that can serve my community. So that's the reason why I support him on that border policy.
When you think about the border, you think about people coming here who are getting more help than people who live here and who were born here.
Yeah. And I got that perspective not from news channels. I got it from social media. TikTok is like a holy grail. We even see it with the things that we learn about the United States government. Outside of the United States, people are showing Americans, hey, look at what's going on. Do y'all know that your government is doing this? Have you seen this? Have you looked at it from this perspective?
You know, people, when they think about a Trump voter, they usually think about like a white dude with like a red hat on and a pickup truck. And y'all are not that at all. So Donald Trump's team went in, they took down Harriet Tubman's picture for a quick minute. They're trying to like knock out the black museums. What does that have to do with the price of eggs, and how does that impact you?
In some ways, it's a slap in the face. In other ways, I don't care. I care more about how I'm going to take care of my children.
I don't think the average American cares about that. I know I am sick and tired of seeing black people sit there and complain about something, but not taking action and steps to actually try to change things in an appropriate manner.
Under the Trump and Biden administration, they came to certain agreements with police departments to be less brutal toward the black community. Trump has now ended all that. How does that help the black community?
I have a lot of issues with police reform and just with how police officers are treated as a whole. My husband is currently going through the process to become a police officer. The amount of hatred that cops get, even the best ones, I think has become a huge problem, because it has been, especially around election times, when it definitely comes out of like, oh no, the cops are bad, the cops hate you because you're black, they're immediately deemed as evil.
This man is talking about running for a third term. Now, what do you think about that?
The third term, for me, absolutely not. I think it's at the end of these 4 years, it's time to move on.
This is a prime example of him trolling people, because people have said, they're like, oh, if he gets in the office, he's going to be a dictator. He's going to try to run for a third term. So he's like, okay, y'all think I'm going to do that? I'm going to mess with y'all and say this just to take y'all out.
I thought you loved this man because he's so authentic and he's such a truth teller.
But you need to know the difference between somebody trolling somebody, and this is a prime example of him being a troll.
If you had to do it all over again, would you vote for Donald Trump again, yes or no?
Yes, I would. Now, in the future, I am not a diehard Democrat or a diehard Republican. If there were a Democratic candidate who was more aligned for me, then I would vote Democrat.
If you go back in time, would you vote for Donald Trump, yes or no?
Yes.
I think I might know the answer on this next one.
She said yes. It's immediately yes. No, I'm sorry.
If you had to do it all over again, would you vote for Donald Trump, yes or no?
1,000% absolutely yes.
Yep. Democrats keep swinging for the fences, but they can't clear the infield. Remember the Maryland man? This poor dad who was just trying to raise his kids here in the United States, or even his kids, and we deported him to a gulag in El Salvador. You mean we sent him back to the country from which he came because he's a thug, a drug dealer, and human trafficker. But we were told, no, the tattoos on his knuckles, those were photoshopped. Yeah. The police reports about this guy, yeah, no, he's a good guy. And now we have the video evidence.
Hello, sir. How are you? Good, and you? All right. Everything good? You got a bunch of people here, don't you? It's 1 for sick. Yes. Go back to work. Gotcha. Where are you working at? Where? Where? San Luis, Missouri. Missouri? Yes, sir. Gotcha. Okay. But I'm from Maryland. Where do y'all live at? Where I living? I live in Maryland. Maryland? Yeah, Oxon. Whose vehicle is it? What, excuse me? Whose car is it? It's to my boss. Your boss? My boss, yeah. Where's he live? Where's your boss live? My boss right now is staying in Maryland, but he lives in Texas. Okay. In Houston, Texas.
After talking to Kilmar, the officers had no doubt he was trafficking.
You know what you got here, right? No. He's hauling these people for money. You got an ass hauler is what he's doing, but sometimes they commingle dope. No, but
squad at the back?
There's 8 people in there.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know that. They put an extra row of seats in there.
Yeah. So he's getting paid to all these people, probably to Maryland, I would say, if I had my
He
guess.
said they all work together. That's what he's telling me, but he's the only one that knows English.
So let me ask you this: they don't have any luggage in there, right? And if you get them out, they're gonna have a tube of toothpaste and they're gonna have toothbrushes in their pockets. I guarantee it.
He's got $1,400 cash in his pocket.
Makes you wonder why the Biden administration just let this guy go. I mean, they had him dead to rights on a traffic stop, and the FBI said, let him go. This whole thing of MS-13, these violent individuals being in our country, this was all done on purpose. Let that sink in. And Donald Trump is making the streets safer. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for putting up with the bull hawk and the character assassination that they keep rolling out against you. Thank you for standing strong. Thank you for standing firm. Thank you for standing for America and for Americans. Thank you, Mr. President. So Democrats and the lying legacy corporate corrupt mainstream media have backed off the whole Maryland man narrative. Notice they're not talking about him anymore. Why? Because he's been exposed completely for what he is. Literally, Trump kind of baited him in, slow rolled out the evidence for him, and now this video footage is beyond damaging, and they know that. So there's no more defense of the Maryland man. And Ilhan Omar was taking a stroll with her staff when she was asked a simple question. Hey, are you and any other Democrats going to go down to El Salvador and try to get the Maryland man to come home?
Congresswoman Omar, I'm Miles Morrell with the Daily Caller News Foundation. Do you think more of your Democratic colleagues should be traveling to El Salvador to advocate on behalf of Rodrigo Garcia?
I think you should f*** off. Yeah, that's
I'm sorry, what, Congresswoman?
F*** off.
Who should?
You.
Why me?
We're not taking any questions right now, but here you go.
Just like a woman.
Really? Really? Well, that's classy there, Ms. Omar. They think because Donald Trump talks tough, you've got Ilhan and Jasmine Crotchet. Apparently, this is the new plan among Democrats. If you take a look around, you can understand. The party that can't define a woman has decided that if all these men can trans into being female athletes, then the women in the Democratic Party have got to trans and become the men. Because look at what they got for men. Harry Hogg. What's that other guy? There's David Hogg and Harry Sisson, and Akeem Jeffries and Old Man Schumer. So now you got Crotchet and you've got Ilhan. You know, they're going to talk tough like guys because they've got no men among the Democratic Party leadership. This is your future, Dems. This and plastic hair Gavin Newsom and AOC. Good luck.
A few moments later.
Wait. I would be remiss if I didn't point out, apparently, the guy who's going to save your party is the twin brother of Chris Christie. Yeah, Governor Pritzker, because apparently he didn't get the memo that obese, big mouth politicians ain't in style anymore.